This show is powered by BL3P, the Lightning-enabled European Bitcoin exchange.
Connetti il mondo.
Bumann, Alby, Germany, planet Earth.
Cologne is famous for its stunning cathedral and vibrant carnival celebrations. If Cologne decided to replace Carnival with a tech and crypto fest every year, would you still feel it was the best place to live?
Yes.
Alby is known for its focus on enabling Bitcoin micropayments on the web. If someone suggests adding a feature that lets users send micropayments for cat gifts exclusively, would you consider it seriously?
Yes.
Cycling is often celebrated for its blend and endurance and exploration. If you had to choose between cycling a scenic alpine route but on a stationary bike or a flat, dull road but outdoors, would you still pick the outdoor option?
Yes.
Allgäuer Käsespätzle, often called Germany's answer to mac and cheese, is a classic comfort food from the Allgäu region. If someone offered you a lifetime free Italian carbonara in exchange for never eating Käsespätzle again, would you take the deal?
No.
Released in 1989, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure follows two lovable slackers, Bill and Ted, as they travel through time in a phone booth to gather historical figures and pass their high school history report. The film became a cult classic for its quirky humor, catchphrases like "be excellent to each other," and its imaginative take on time travel. If the time-traveling phone booth was replaced with a cryptocurrency wallet powered by Alby and a tutorial on Bitcoin, do you think the movie would still hold its charm?
No.
Spezi, the beloved mix of cola and orange soda, is a German classic. If you had to drink Spezi warm instead of cold for the rest of your life, would it still be your favorite drink?
No.
Your idea of a perfect holiday seems to be discovering somewhere new. If someone offered you a free trip to the same destination every year, but with all expenses paid, would you choose familiarity over adventure?
No.
Claiming planet Earth as your nationality is about as global as it gets. If Earth were to split into separate Bitcoin and fiat-only nations tomorrow, would you pack your bags and move to Bitcoin land?
Yes.
The sovereign individual predicts how technology will reshape society and empower individuals. If someone rewrote it in a comic book form with stick figure illustrations, would you still read it?
Yes.
Are you Satoshi Nakamoto?
No.
Welcome to the Connected World Weekly Podcast. I'm Edward.
And I'm Steph. We are ready to take you with us into the beautiful world of the Lightning Network.
Enjoy the ride. This is episode 128 of Connected World, and this show is made possible by our friends from Bitonic and BRINGIN. Thank you guys for helping us out with our mission to connect the world with Bitcoin through the Lightning Network. And if you also want to help out with our mission, then follow us on Twitter or Nostrdam and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions at all, you can head over to our Telegram group and you can ask us anything. And of course, a donation is always welcome.
Соединим этот мир.
Welcome to the show, Bumann.
Bumann, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. Excited to be here.
You are one of the very few that from Alby that didn't were guest on the podcast. So I think we had what was it? The Belgium guy.
Quinten.
Yeah,
Quinten.
Yeah, that was in Amsterdam a year ago.
Yeah. So we I think we have almost everyone, but except for you. So we are very glad to have you now this evening.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, super excited. I mean, I love what you're doing. It's such a piece of art, but what you're setting
Thanks.
up here. So
yeah, that's a
an
nice
honor.
compliment.
And the Lightning Network is all based on community and experimenting. So and Alby is the same. So we love that. So I think it's going to be fun also for node operators everywhere in the world to listen to this. So
yes. And we have a prize to give away, but more for that at the end of the show. So a little teaser there. Hey, and Boomy, have you ever been to Bitcoin Amsterdam? I was wondering, because we spoke to a lot of guys from Alby at the conference. But
I've been to, yes. And I've been to the BRI, do I say it right? I think... was it last year? I think so. Yeah. Was my highlight? Was a highlight definitely of the conference. So,
It was
actually, on that evening, I also met Jakub. Back then, still from the Bitcoin design community, who later then joined the Alby team. So it's definitely a very memorable evening for me. So
nice, cool, man. Yeah, the food is great, by the way, at BRI, and we always host our annual meetup there. So a couple of, next year we will obviously also do an edition. So hope to drink a beer with you live instead of meeting each other online. But this is also nice because you're living, I think, around 500 kilometers away from me. So in this way, we can have a nice conversation. So this is also perfect. But I prefer to have a beer with you live. So let's do that next year, right?
Very much. Let's do that for sure. Exactly.
Yeah. And talking about rye and food and all that kind of stuff, you said that käsespätzle is your favorite food. And I know it's like similar to käsespätzle, right? The thing you can eat when you're on a skiing holiday in Austria. I think that's similar, right? But I thought it was a side dish, but is it like also a main course then?
Yeah, you can have it as a main course if you like it. Yes, very much. In the region where I'm originally from, it's I would say a specialty, and it's definitely a main dish there. So
really, because I mean I like it. I really like it, but it's like the smallest portion is getting your stomach already very full, right? Because of the cheese and all, and like there's also like a crispy onions on top of it, right? So
very important part.
Oh, there's important ingredients.
That's the tricky part, to actually get it right. So in a lot of restaurants, you get this like ready-made whatever crispy onions that are not so good. Okay. So
Okay,
if you visit my place, we will make some, and I hope you will then like them.
and then have an ice cold specie, right? Because we ask you if you can drink specie warm, but it's like it's soda, so you need to drink it very cold, right?
Cold. Okay.
You have to drink it cold. Sometimes I like it for my dose of sugar drink. So and it's the. Yeah, when I was younger, actually, it was a bit popular, and it has been gone. And in the recent years, it came back, and somehow it's maybe it's also a bit nostalgic in memory of. That's why I like it currently.
It reminds me to my winter holidays when I'm at the slopes. You can also get it there, and it's also one of my. It's like. It's not that I like it very much, but it's also like it reminds me of the holiday. So always when I'm in Austria, I always drink specie.
Yeah, so you have similar reasons, exactly. So
And talking about holidays, Boomy, discovering somewhere new. Is there still a country on your wish list that you want to visit someday?
Oh, there are many. Many. That's There are many. There are many left.
Because I saw a list that you have online, and there you put all the places there. Well, a lot is Germany, of course, but there are also.
That's quite old, actually. I should update that sometime. So my website is a bit dated.
I thought so. I was thinking, well, is it up to date? But I didn't know.
And have you ever been to El Salvador, Boomy, or is that also one of on the list? Oh, you have been there.
No, I've been to the first adopting Bitcoin conference.
Yeah, cool.
Two of them I've been. This year I missed. Last year I missed. So maybe also next year again. But the first one. I mean, shout out. Definitely one also of my favorite conferences. It's an amazing place and an amazing conference what they put up there. So
but there was especially back in the days there was a lot of buzz around El Salvador, obviously, and then also organizing a conference there, it was like the perfect storm, right? I mean, everyone we speak to that have been there says it was one of the best conferences they attended. So that's cool.
I think especially the first one was also, it was a bit of a challenge to go there. It was something new, not a typical, big city in Europe or big city in the US kind of conference. So it was a bit unknown. Okay, there's this country that's doing now Bitcoin stuff. So we were all traveling, or all the people traveling there did a bit of an effort to get there, which was, I think, cool. So the vibe was really good. And by the way, we launched the Alby browser extension during that time.
I'm using it a lot.
That's cool. Where it was getting into the Chrome and Firefox app stores. So the development happened like the half year before, but that's where it was officially kind of easily installable.
Cool.
A lot have happened since then, because that's
you can imagine. It's not even that long ago, right? I mean, talking about 2.5 years or something.
Yeah, I
3
think
years
so.
Maybe.
But that's normal for Lightning, right? It is generations. Is 1 year. There's so many developments passing by. So
crazy, man.
Awesome.
Crazy. Cool. Well, Boomy. Talking about developments at the Lightning Network. Alby Hub. You guys released it, and we really want to talk about it with you. We also talked about it a little bit at the conference with Tomek.
Yeah.
But we want also have some questions asked to you. So if you're ready, we would like to enter that part.
Let's do it.
The 21 Minutes is brought to you by BRINGIN, the app to reliably sell and spend Bitcoin from any wallet. Yeah, because Alby Hub and Alby Go, there was a lot of buzz around it. And I'm using Alby for a long time. So I also received, of course, some mailings. And wanted to try it out, both for me privately, but also for the Connect the World node. The thing that was most important for us, it was non-custodial. I mean, that's of course awesome to run it in this way, a node instance, and then a non-custodial way. And you call it a superpower for Bitcoin users. Can you explain what Alby Hub is and how you guys started developing this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you said, like Alby Hub is a self-custodial, self-sovereign Bitcoin Lightning wallet. It's for humans, but also for machines. And it basically focuses on the question how a wallet should look like for programmable open source money. Like, how can we allow applications really to deeply integrate and deeply use Lightning payments? And this was the question that we tried to answer. An important part was to have it self-custodial, that people can run it on their own. And you get superpowers, or it gives superpowers because you can use Bitcoin. You can use your Bitcoins within the applications and use cases that have not been possible before. It started pretty much already, like say a year ago, even close to that. We've been building around the NWC protocol. I guess we will talk about that also a little bit. So that was the core actually that we had. So we built the wallet around that. We tried various different options and ended up using LDK, an amazing toolkit there that does the heavy lifting of the Lightning integration. But on a side note, actually also Alby Hub works with LND. So people who are running, for example, an Umbra with LND, they can also use it because that's what we build around the node. And there are like these two main parts, like the integrated LDK node, but it also can be used with an external LND node if users already have that one.
Yeah, that's the amazing part. I have an Umbra node and attach it to it, so I can control now with Alby Hub my whole node and open a new channel. Open to an LSP, it's super easy. Yeah, and the fun is it's still your own node. So that gives you the power to use it like that.
Yeah, nice. Hey, and Bumi, I was wondering, because you said it's also a wallet for machines. Can you maybe give some examples? Because people I know, you and me, for example, but machines. How do machines need a Lightning wallet?
Yeah, so first of all, I expect many machines in the futures, and many machines like machines, meaning also like, software, programs, agents, whatever it is, like not necessarily physical hardware machines, but basically computers that do things on behalf of the user. As an simple example, what I mean is just like typically if you think about a Lightning wallet, you might think about a mobile app where you scan a QR code of somebody else then to send a payment. Basically, we go for dinner together and I pay you for the beer and something like that. Which is cool, which is fine, works great. But I think the exciting use cases are there if we also hide the payment part a little bit and enable things like, for example, zapping on Nostr. So there you have a Nostr client, and while you're pressing not the like button but the zap button, a payment is executed in the back, and this is basically the machine. This is the software that talks to the wallet. Then, like the Nostr client is the software that talks to the Lightning wallet to execute the payment. Then, for example.
So you can connect it to. It's very interoperable, and I also saw the development part that you have. That's interesting for developers. That you can use webhooks. You can you can connect to the APIs of the wallet, and you can also say what it can and cannot do. So you can build your own software and use it like you want it to do some stuff. For example, answering a user that's paying you or something, that it can check the notifications of a new payment. So it's very easy to program too.
Hey, and Bumi, I was wondering, Alby operates within a strong open source ethos. If I remember well, you guys were founded through a hackathon. Is that correct? Back in the day, Yeah,
it's actually the first lines of code of the browser extension were written at the Fulmore Hack Days during Christmas a while ago.
Cool. Cool. Hey, but I was wondering, are there challenges unique to building open source tools, or are there only upsides to this, which I can't imagine? Obviously, there must be challenges, but what are the challenges you face?
I for sure want to focus on the upsides, I would say.
Of course.
Upsides are definitely, huge. We wouldn't be here for open source and for other people building great things that we can build on top of it, right? So it's always the saying, like, standing on the shoulder of giants here. I think an important part for sure is like the speed of innovation that you have with open source, that you can build on ideas and code of each other. Which I think, especially in our space, is super important. And wouldn't be possible without it, because we kind of really need these ideas and experimentations, and one idea leads to many more. Like if two ideas come together, they are like multiplying this thing. But for sure, it's also a bit of an overhead, right? So it might be a bit of a distraction because you have a lot of like input then, and then there's like even contributions that might not fit into actually where you want to go. But you have to somehow then also deal with it or manage it. So there are for sure some of the
but the upsides are greater.
Sorry, I was also thinking maybe to make a profitable organization can maybe also be a challenge, because when everything is out of the open. In the open, one can just copy lines of code, or maybe even whole templates from you guys, and just start their own business. That might be also a challenge for you. That's the
thing. If you build on open protocols, also you cannot rely on locking people in. The switching costs for users are typically much lower. You can just go somewhere else because it's interoperable and open, right? But ultimately, that means you have to have a business model or a different kind of business model, which I think is a good thing also, that does not rely on that and that provides valuable services to users. And yeah, for sure, I mean, still in the Lightning space, this is a challenge to find. So we don't this is the biggest challenge that we as a team and as a company have.
And I think it's understandable that the focus now is on the upsides, because then you are innovating at a more rapid pace. And I think that's the most important at this time. But we'll see.
Very much because we are actually competing against the legacy payment system, right? Yeah, so and those are huge corporations, and now we have like these small kind of teams that build on like this new technology that we have there. And the great advantage is the openness of it, the interoperability that is not possible there, and this will speed up the innovation.
Maybe this is the only way to fight Goliath, right? Because it's so big, and with a lot of people, you can make great stuff. Hey, self-custody, of course, well, we talked about it, is central to Alby Hub. Yet onboarding new users can be daunting. And maybe for self-custody, it is even more difficult. What steps are you taking to simplify the process for non-technical users?
It's a good point. And by the way, I think a lot of the people that have been in Lightning a while, that might be a bit even burned, or I'm not sure if you say that in English, right? Because you had a bad experience a few years ago setting up the node and having troubles there. What we try to do is we try to provide really good defaults, like really good default answers to the typical questions that you might have when you start a node. Like, for example, where do I open a channel to? Where do I get liquidity from? These kind of things, these were hard to answer. And we say, okay, there are now really good LSPs, and those have been coming up in the last year, which is quite amazing. So, and we try to really like give good defaults to the users that they don't have to think about that. I mean, if they still want to and dig deeper, they still can, but they don't have to. So the default, for example, is a flow that you get a channel from an LSP with incoming liquidity, a decent sized channels with incoming liquidity that you can directly start with. And this takes away a lot of the complexity and also a lot of the issues that you might have, or that people might have when they, want to do it on their own. Like the typical one is you want to try something out and you open a tiny channel, but a tiny channel often is not useful. Then you open another one and then you get like channel fragmentation and these kind of issues, which make things complex. So we try to take that away as much as possible and have like simple default flows.
I think even for people who are not acquainted with liquidity and how it works, it was quite easy, because it takes you through the steps, lets you make a backup, lets you make an account, and then it says to open up your first channel, of course. And like you said, you can choose between LSPs, Megalith, Olympus, for example. There are a couple of them. And also you can open a channel to some random other node that you know from a friend or something. And I also need to mention that your support is very good, because if something isn't logical or you don't understand it, then you can just email. Because there are some warnings that it says, for example, the reserve isn't enough for your channel, and to understand everything, you just need to walk through the process, and then you learn by doing it. And I think that's the same with building your own node. You're also learning by just experiencing it.
Yeah. I'm happy that you say that, by the way, because I think, and generally in Lightning, a lot of the concepts are new. So it's important, and we think it's important that you have somebody to answer it or to ask, indeed. And that answers it. So, and we really try to do that, because like we cannot take everything away and make everything super smooth yet. Just because it's still Lightning, you need a channel, so you are exposed with that. So, but that is there, but we can help you understand it. So
and it makes it less spooky, right? For example, if you don't know Alby and you're thinking, well, I'm playing with money, of course. So can you trust it? And if it has a face, if people are answering you normally, then you just get more your experience is better. And I think that's great.
People, if you guys are messing up, then people will search for you in Braille next year. Now they know your face, Boomy. So
we already announced where we drink the beer, right? So I hope they come to drink with us and not
exactly to cheer with us on a great service.
Exactly.
And with Tomek, we discussed in Amsterdam. We already elaborated a bit about it. How Nostr Wallet Connect bridges Alby Hub with various apps. How does this protocol improve user experience compared to traditional methods like the wallet app connections?
I think an important part here is that it solves the connection issue, right? And a lot of people listening might have had the experience when you run a node on Umbrella or Raspberry Blitz and so on at home behind a firewall, and you try to connect the Alby extension or the SUSE mobile app or so to it. And that was often like a not so pleasant experience because it was not super reliable or not super fast. So, and I think NWC especially solves that. So it's important that it doesn't matter where the node is running. If it's on one of those home servers, or if it's on a desktop computer or mobile device or a smaller Raspberry Pi or cloud server, it doesn't matter. NWC as the protocol allows the connection. So, and NWC, you can imagine, maybe we can add this here already, so that it's kind of a messaging layer. It's the messaging layer between an application and the wallet, and so the application is sending a message that is routed through a relay to the wallet. So
And Tomek also hinted, and I'm very curious about it because I also use sub-account management. It's very easy. You can make sub-accounts and you can tell them what they can do and cannot do. He said it is in early stages, and I'm curious what can we expect in the near future from that?
That's a good one. I mean, the thing is, like with these connections, these app connections, you can give very specific permissions. You can, for example, allow an application to only create an invoice, but not send a payment or not read a transaction list. Or you only allow it to send a payment, but not read the balance, and only a payment of a certain amount. So there are very specific permissions. And one of these permissions is then also this concept of a sub-account, of an isolated connections, as it's also still very technically called, which means this connection can only access the balance that it actually received through itself. So that means like, okay, I got a payment, and then I can only see that balance. So it's it's really kind of a sub account. It's still the same protocol. It's still NWC, but it's a sub account. And the thing was then, okay, like this is now possible to allow, give sub accounts to friends and family to share an Alby Hub with others, which I think is pretty cool. But at the same time, with these things, it's always, the question is it useful? Will people use it? And why if so, for what do they use it? So it was definitely an early version where we thought, okay, this might be something cool. Sharing this one node, it doesn't make sense that in your family that everybody might need a different node on their own. You can have like this one big channel that you can share with your kids, with your wife, with your husband, with your friends, and so on. And this makes this possible. And I think what you you can expect for sure, because like it's got quite some attention. I personally didn't expect it to get that much attention or that much interest, which is super cool. There is definitely work going on around improving the user experiences for that, and also helping people to still understand a little bit better what it actually is and what it does and what people can use it for, because it's still sitting a little bit on the side, and the wording is not perfect yet. I think sub account recently came up and is more something that people can grasp. I think in the UI there are still words where we say isolated connection, which is not super natural. So
and then in the wallet of Alby Hub, you're seeing from which account the transaction is. So that's also there are so many options still to but it makes it easy. So you using only one node, and then you can give away sub accounts to your family members, and they can use the same liquidity. And that's a great thing, I think. For the people who are using the Alby browser extension for a long time, you migrated from the old L&D Hub setup. They're seeing a big warning. They don't need to be afraid, of course, but can you explain perhaps what technical changes were made in the background, why it is needed to reconnect?
So initially, all our APIs were basically using the L&D Hub API, or exposing this default L&D Hub API, also just for the sake of interoperability. So that means, in the beginning, the extension was just like also just using an L&D Hub connection. But this has some limitations. So for example, we couldn't transport the Lightning address information to it, and it wasn't visible in the extension. And with a custom API, these things are becoming more flexible. And as L&D Hub is also getting a bit older and dated, people will need to connect the
I know Blue Wallet also used L&D Hub, right?
Exactly, that's where it's coming from. Exactly. Of course, you can still do it, but more flexibility for us as developers is with our new APIs.
Yeah. I heard a TikTok, and I wanted to ask you still one question. What developments can we expect from you guys, from Alby, in the upcoming years? What do you guys have on your lists, on your short list to implement within Alby?
We're curious.
We said before, right? The world is very dynamic. It's moving really fast. I think we are still in the phase in the Lightning ecosystem, or even in the Bitcoin ecosystem, is to explore use cases, to explore what's now possible with these new technologies, this new asset that has not been possible with these legacy systems. And so we are experimenting a lot. This is for sure also the challenge, to see, kind of what people want to use. How does it work? I think we want to be more high level, I would say, not necessarily. It also, layers need to be defined in the future. We will see more specializations in the Lightning ecosystem, but we want to be more high level to enable use cases like the podcasting, zapping, and so on, like these integrations. And so we will be more there than on the hardcore channel management kind of thing. So you will not expect that in Alby Hub.
So the fun tools for us, it's the fun tools, the things that we can use.
Cool.
Thanks
Boomy.
Let the word.
We had a couple of questions left for you, but we just want to we're going to invite you in a future show.
Definitely.
And we still have one question left, by the way. And the fun thing is that you may choose yourself. So we prepared two questions. One is from Kijan, and he's from Stacker.news. And the other one is from Ricky Allardyce, and he's from Adopting Bitcoin Cape Town. So which one will it be?
From Ricky.
Ricky, okay.
Hi, my name is Ricky Allardyce from Adopting Bitcoin Cape Town. And my question is, how does the Lightning Network decentralize? And what I mean by this is, how do we avoid the centralization trap that we see playing out in Lightning today, with LSPs being the most viable solution for scaling Lightning, and self-custodial Lightning being really difficult? How do we get there?
using Alby Hub.
The biggest question out there, right? So who solves that will win a big prize, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a tricky question, or it's a tricky problem.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm actually very confident because if I see also just what has become possible with tools like LDK or what Breeze and Bolts are doing there, I think a lot of things has become much easier to develop. So more ideas will happen, more developments will happen. And yes, I mean, I talked before that we are also defaulting on the LSPs. I don't see that as much as a problem. But I think it's important that people have a good experience there. But then people still, if you have the self-custody also there, then people still have the option to also open channels. And even so, if there will be big routing nodes, there will still then be also these kind of networks possible because we are on an open network. And I kind of, I mean, that's probably too long now, but I feel it a bit as the internet. You can criticize a lot the big internet companies, but it's still kind of open, and it's exciting that we still have like all these small niches that wouldn't be possible otherwise. So
it gives you the possibility for all use cases. For example, if you're sending remittances to a family member and you open up a channel to him or her and you put the fees low, then you don't need the LSP.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the
of
development.
Course, that's why we do what we do
every week.
Exactly.
The word.
And talking about channels and doing stuff yourself, we have a prize to give away, ladies and gentlemen, and it has been a while, so you're very pleased and thankful for Boomy to giving away this prize. And the prize is this is obviously there it is. Drums. We are giving away a Lightning channel from 1 million sats incoming liquidity from an LSP, and we can give it away to 10 people. So this is obviously very nice. If you're running a node, but you're you do miss some more incoming liquidity, it's perfectly helpful. But also if you're just getting started, I mean, everyone who runs a node, this is helpful for, right? And if you don't run a node, just start with one, and Boomy can provide you with a nice incoming channel liquidity from 1 million sats. And back in the day, Edward, to be honest, when we started our Lightning node, 1 million was like, it was a couple of €100. But now with the price above 90K, it might be enough to just do all the groceries and stuff. And you might get away with only one channel of 1 million sats, people. So I think it's a very nice prize to give away.
Absolutely.
And what do you have to do? Well, you just have to comment #GetAlby on whatever platform you're listening to us. So it might be YouTube, can be on Nostr. You can also comment
put a comment on Fountain. It's also good.
On Fountain, but on the announcement on X or Nostr, whatever you like, as long as it's underneath this episode. Just comment #GetAlby and you're in the race to win one of the 10 Lightning channels.
Awesome. Conecta el mundo.
Yeah, Boomy. So, thanks. Where can people follow you, man?
I'm Boomy on the typical platforms like GitHub. If people are still on X, also there. On Nostr, you find me on boomy@getalby.com. I'm actually also on the Fediverse with boomy@cosmos.social.
A lot of choice.
It's Boomy.
Boomy, yeah. Thanks again, and thanks everybody for listening in. And of course, thanks to everyone helping to connect the world with us. So if you like our content, then please support us in our mission. Visit our website, connecttheworld.live, where you can also make a donation and subscribe, like, and share your favorite content, of course, on your favorite platform. So remember, we need you to complete our mission, connect the world. So keep those nodes running, also on Alby, and your sets flowing. And we see you all next time on the same Lightning channel. Arrivederci, Bumi.
Tschüss.
Ciao. Thank you.